This one's gonna be fun. I can feel the excitement on set right now. I can feel it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Losers Lounge.
Whoa.
Yeah, I need to puke after that. We're presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. And coming to you live from the Toyota Losers Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. The Nuggets lose tonight, 122-112 to the New York Knicks. What a weird, bizarre game that we are going to break down for the next hour. And man, it was an ugly game that the Nuggets were out of and then in and then back out of. But I think there's a lot to talk about from this one. I'm Harrison Wynn, joined by Brendan Vogt on my left.
Woo! I don't have anything fun or encouraging right now, but
How could you?
But at least this is an hour-long show, so I'll find something to say before it's up.
Yeah. Also joined by D-Line, who I would think would have a wet lip cigarette in his mouth. I knew it! There it is! I didn't even know it was back behind your ear. I didn't even know.
Fire it up, Kale.
Fire it up.
Fire up my wet lip cigarette.
Also joined by Superstar Dev.
We're in the twilight zone right now. Like, we're in a rough spot.
I know, man.
How do we get out of this?
Well, we'll try to talk it out. Thanks to everybody tuning in the Toyota chat. I'm sure the chat is full of sunshine and rainbows.
Really measured takes. People are being chill about
Yeah, people are being chill in the chat, Kale.
I like how small the font is on the chat today. That's
Kale just decreases and decreases the size of the chat when it's the worst losers lounges.
Yep.
We got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's get into a fast recap, though. Tell you guys how this game went. First note, and again, the first note always sets the tone and tells the story of the game, just how it works. Jokic, 2 quick fouls. And they weren't just 2 quick fouls. They were very quick. They were some of the most lackadaisical, half-assed effort fouls that we have seen in quite some time. Knicks 15-0 run. That was right after Jokic went out with those 2 fouls. But Jamal Murray was carrying the Nuggets. Denver came back at the end of the first quarter in the non-Jokic minutes. There were a lot of them to trail 31-27. Second quarter, Christian Braun was hooping, had some good moments in this game. Also, another storyline tonight, huge lineup change. The Nuggets moving Aaron Gordon back into the starting lineup. Christian Braun went to the bench. We'll talk about that a lot later on. Nuggets tied it up, but then a 6-0 Knicks run. Jokic back in the game at his regular rotation. Thought maybe he might come in a little earlier in the second quarter. He did not. Back in around 7 minutes left in the second. And Nuggets were in the bonus with 4 minutes left in the quarter. They went into the half only trailing by 6, 60-54. They were in an okay spot. Third quarter, Jamal Murray with a Murray flurry, a 9-0 Nuggets run, but 4 fouls on Jamal. Denver was playing really well for a lot of the third quarter. Back and forth, but a Knicks 7-0 run at the end of the quarter.
Killer, man.
Jalen Brunson was cooking the Nuggets
on fire
and just baiting the Nuggets into every foul, which he does. 93-86 Knicks to head to the fourth, and the Knicks controlled most of the fourth quarter and then kind of broke away a little bit later on, and they end up winning this game by double digits, 122-112. It was a weird, bizarro Jokic game. It was a game that it felt like the Nuggets were going to get blown out of, but never really were out of striking distance. Although, I don't know if it ever felt like real, legitimately, like they were going to win this game. I don't know. It was a weird game.
I think you're kind of right. I think you got it right.
It was a really weird game. Let's go to our Red Hawk Roofing big takeaways. Superstar Dev.
Yeah, you
What you
get to
got?
go first, Dev.
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is things were all good just a week ago. Things are all good, and it's just wild to see what a 3-game losing streak would do for your vibes and do for this Nuggets, nation, the people that believe in them. It is hard right now trying to be positive with this team. And I know that we've made jokes about the Nuggets and like the Avs or the Nuggets and the Broncos not being able to be good at the same time. But right now, it does not seem like Jamal Murray and Jokic could be good at the same time. One is on, the other one's off. The other one's on, they're just not on the same page right now. And that's hurting the team. We want them both to be good at the exact same time. And it's great to see Jamal Murray, starting to get it going. But you need others to ride with him. And then vice versa when Jokic gets it. So really, it's just about the chemistry, the cohesion, the getting on the same page, and just trying to put it together. Things are not good right now.
To your point, Dev, the Nuggets were hot. They were riding that win streak with Jokic in the lineup. That was a week ago. That was last Thursday, when they beat the Sacramento Kings, and they've lost 3 straight. 3 ugly, ugly losses. I mean, the Timberwolves game was really ugly. They got blown out of that one. Then the Bulls lost. I mean, about as depressing of a loss in the regular season as you can have. And the Nuggets have had a lot of those. And then just a weird loss tonight. Dylan?
Guys, my Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is that Jokic sucked. He was terrible.
He sucked.
He was not engaged. He took 2 early fouls that were so on the same play, no less. Took him out of the game. But like seeing how he conducted himself the rest of the game, I don't think it would have mattered. That was like the time when the Nuggets were most engaged was when Jokic was off the court. He only hung out behind the 3 line all night, very Wemby-esque. Wouldn't go in. He looked like he was feeling sick. I don't know if he did not look like himself. There was something very much afoot and amiss with Nikola Jokic. I don't know what it is. I'm not mad at him, but he sucked, man. This was a bad Jokic game, and he did not help the rest of the team win. He kept firing up threes. Like, bro, it was just like, what am I watching? What is this?
Yeah.
Like, what are these like negative feelings that I have about Nikola Jokic right now? I'm not ready for it. I don't want to live in this world. Just enjoy my cigarette in peace.
Well, so weird. He gets the 2 quick fouls. And again, they were 2 touch fouls on the interior where it didn't look like he had any interest in playing defense, but for some reason gave a little touch foul on both these ones. And yeah, he went out.
His defense was so bad tonight.
Oh, awful.
It
Just
was
terrible.
so bad. It was like,
Even at the end, he was kind of doing like, dude, you only have 4 fouls and there's a minute left in the game. Like, contest the layup. Contest the layup.
dude, be involved. Get involved. Like, it was a game that makes you, you start to put your conspiracy theory hat on. You're like, okay, first up, is he sick? He might be sick. Is he hungover? He might be hungover. Is he protesting? We've seen this behavior before from Jokic. Like, is he not feeling well, or is he trying to send a message? What is happening? Because like for him to play like that, there's something external happening.
Usually it seems like that's
Always.
the case. Yeah.
Because his default setting is best
Killer.
player. Yeah, best player in the world. Whatever. Like he was throwing the ball away. I mean, it was just, the whole thing was just so disappointing because somehow the rest of that chucklehead crew, the Nuggets, like had enough in various points in the night to like actually contend with the Knicks, like match their energy. Very weird, very frustrating. Don't bother me.
Well, I was going to say, he comes back in after the 2 fouls, and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
get Jokic in the post, like, get the offense going again. And did he post up once this game?
No.
And it's like, yeah, they scored 112 points. That's not good enough to beat the Knicks usually, who routinely go for 140. And Jamal was cooking. He clearly, like, took the game over. But Jokic was just floating on the perimeter, just playing weird, man, the rest of the game.
Even when he got cooking, it was from 3, which was awesome and almost got them back in the game.
Yeah.
But when he's only taking that shot, I think Nuggets fans can kind of feel I mean, it's awesome that he's hitting them this year, but when he's only taking that shot, that just feels like something's off. And
He took those 2 quick fouls and he was just done. He came back in, but he never really came back in.
yeah. My big Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is if you were looking at the Minnesota game and this game as like a test, as a potential exclamation point wins, they failed them. And, the Nuggets, I think, have reached a point where I know the Chicago loss just happened. They're going to beat most of the bad teams. They're going to have some really bad losses in there too, but they've kind of leveled out against the below 500 or 500 teams. They do have a stretch of schedule coming up. I know everyone's tired of hearing it. That's against some poor teams. Maybe they can pick up some wins there. But what I'll have to remind myself then as I start to get excited if they do go on a run is, but it's still the bad teams. And you're just hoping to see, the shorthanded win against OKC was awesome. There were a couple of decent ones to start the year, but it's been a minute. And it would have been awesome to get this one or the Minnesota one. This is a really tough matchup for Denver, but it's just to follow up having kind of finally taken off and reaching cruising altitude seemingly with a 3-game losing streak, the first 3-game losing streak of the season. That's just kind of how this season's gone, right? Just all year long, and this one's really frustrated.
Yeah. Were we fooled?
I don't.
No.
I think it's both, man. Yes, to some extent, yes. Because they played some bad teams. They also played great basketball.
Yeah,
they
were playing good basketball. They were in a rhythm. They were connected. But I don't think we were completely fooled.
Dude, this is less them than like that winning streak that they were on. Like that is closer to who they are. This is just like you can point to things where you're like, okay, the Bulls game, like they just got. That's what happened in the Minnesota game. They just got content with their lead, let the other team start firing up threes. And then it just all falls apart. But and now they're just doing this. I don't know, man. This is not them. What do you?
I mean, but it also is, right? There's something to when the floor falls out for this team this year. It's a trap door, and they fall real far, right? Yeah. And so they can hit a rhythm and play really well, but it's just there's stumbling, and then there's tripping and breaking your nose, and that's what Denver just did. And it seems like they're prone to that a little bit this year.
Yeah. I mean, there's multiple guys playing bad at the exact same time, and I think that's where it gets amplified. It was blatant that Jokic did not have a good game. It's not to say that he's the only one to blame, but you can't hide the fact that he's playing horrible defense right now. You can't hide the fact that he's not playing even close to the caliber player that he is, and that does have an effect on if they're going to be in games, if they're going to win a games or not. If he had a regular game, not even him going Hercules or anything. If he had a regular game, they possibly win that game. That wasn't close to the Jokic that we're accustomed to. So that's why the spotlight has to be on him right now. That was a prime example for them to go against a contender, another playoff team, and show okay, we're having a bad stretch, but we can bounce back, and they didn't. And it was from pretty much the opening tip with those 2 fouls.
Yeah, I'll go quick on my Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway. Look, the trade deadline is in 8 days, and I mean, I don't want to overreact to these last 3 games, but they've played a couple decent teams. They've looked really bad in both those games, and just with where the season is at right now, the Nuggets have to make a move of some sort. I'm not going to sit here and say it has to be a huge, drastic move because that feels a little unrealistic. I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe Calvin Booth surprises all of us, but it feels like a huge shakeup isn't coming. But I think they do have to do something to change up this roster in a way that's probably like a minor move of some sort. Because, I don't know. I feel like we've probably just seen enough this season to know that, they need another piece. They need a minor shakeup in some way. That's just where I'm at after this game and on this 3-game losing streak right now. After the Minnesota loss, the Bulls loss, this loss today, I don't think the Nuggets played great defense for most of this game. They had some good moments, but overall the defense is just not good enough. And then, on nights when Jok isn't scoring 30, offensively they're not good enough. So I'm at the point where I think they definitely need a minor move, and I think it's got to probably come with looking to trade somebody that's, coming off the bench, because I don't think it's going to be a major one, but we'll see.
I just feel like it's not a minor move, though. If you're going to shake this up, you have to truly shake it up if you want to become better. So, really, you look at this season right now in this lens of, are they good enough to win a championship? And right now, the answer is no. So even if you make a minor move, it still doesn't change the fact of who they are. So it's like, are you going for a championship or not? So I think that's where it becomes difficult, or a decision has to be made of, are we truly ready to shake this up and truly make a change? Because you look at Michael Malone, contracts, he doesn't have that stability. You look at a Calvin Booth, not a contract. He doesn't have that stability. How do you get that stability? You got to win a championship. So I do think that there's something major that you would have to do right now, because they're forced. And 3-game winning streaks losing streaks make it that much easier for you to make that type of decision.
I'm not going to major, and I might look like a fool, but I'm not going there quite yet, because I still do have some belief in the core. I still have some belief there.
I absolutely do. And Dev, this is breaking news. I watched the show when I wasn't on it.
Yeah.
The other night. I didn't watch the whole thing. But Dev, I thought, made a great point.
He makes a lot of those.
Another amazing. Yeah, right. This is so dangerous for them to be playing like this with the trade deadline looming, because you don't know what it does to the emotions of the ownership, of the front office, or whatever. Like, you don't know if they're going to react the same way that, maybe they're in the chat right now. If they are in the chat, we're in trouble, man. They're going to make some wildly emotional moves. But
let's talk about that on the other side.
Okay.
Let's hit a break. We'll talk about the trade deadline coming up. We'll talk about this game some more, and the new starting lineup too.
Mando is a men's deodorant brand that's hyper-focused on keeping every
We need
aspect
Mando right now,
of a
too.
man's body
We need him
smelling
tonight.
fresh
We all
and
stink.
clean. From Grundles to Munders and more,
No Munders tonight.
Mando overtly calls out more
this
colorful
season.
parts of men's bodies. Look, here's the deal. Deodorant is nice, smells nice. If you really think about it critically, a couple stripes on the armpits probably didn't do the job. It's probably more to body odor than that.
Not this job.
And with Mando, you can take care of the whole body. And their scents are geared towards men with options like bourbon, leather, Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. And Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, that is. 2 free products
Say
of
it
your
again.
choice. Cream tube deodorant. It's actually kind of hard to say. And free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use DNVR at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. And you're watching the DNVR Nuggets Losers Lounge, the post-game lounge. But we're live before every game as well, where we do a Bet365 segment, and Superstar Dev hands out some bets. To participate, you have to download Bet365, of course, an official partner of the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche. And when you use code DNVR365, you can get 150 bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10, and place a bet of $5 to get 150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, back here live from the Losers Lounge,
Super
the
fun
Toyota
show.
Losers Lounge.
Fun show.
Presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Find out why the moment is never ordinary at Bet365. Harrison Witt, Brendan Vogt, D-Line, and Dev talking to you after the Knicks beat the Nuggets 122-112. We were just talking about the trade deadline. What were you saying about it?
Well, we're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
You don't know.
8 days away from the trade deadline.
We are 8 days away from the deadline. I personally am going through it. I'm now, after every game, after every disappointing outcome, I'm like, or even after every disappointing play, I'm like, they got to trade that guy, or we got what I'm like coming up with deals in my head. we'll see if the front office is operating the same way as I do. Hopefully not. That would be a bad way to go about being a professional. But listen, like, I'm with you, man. They got to do something. Like they're lost. They're losing their compass here. They're losing their way. And it took 3 games. We could not have been higher on them 3 games ago.
And like, look, the Knicks are really good. The Knicks are arguably, top 3 team in the East. They've had a great season. Like, this isn't the loss, I think, to overreact to. I think it's more the culmination of these 3 straight losses.
Following what looked like having turned it around.
Exactly.
And also being put in a position where they actually were in a position to win this game deep into it. And the pieces that you rely on for the second game in a row failed miserably down the stretch. Like, that doesn't make you feel good. It does not instill confidence in the squad. Like, MPJ did not have a good. I mean, we can talk about him.
He's had a horrible 3 weeks, man.
Bro.
We can talk about it. We should talk about it. He's been bad for almost a better part of a month.
My question to the panel is, if you had to put 2 things on why the team has been losing, just give me 2 right now. What is it?
Defense and defense.
Defense and defense.
Yeah.
So if you don't make a trade, how is that changing?
Right now.
That's my thing. Like, even if you look at next year, if you look at the year after, this is not the personnel to answer that problem of why they're losing so much. That's where my issue lies, of where it needs to be a major change, because there's not a guy out there that they're just gonna give away that's just gonna just come in and just make that impact or make that type of change that you're just putting with this group and saying, yep, that fixes our biggest issue right now. That's the only part that I'm not saying they should make a trade, but it is the danger zone of, if I was in the front office and I'm looking at what we need to do better, it has to be defense, and you don't get that with a minimal change.
It's a valid point.
It's a really valid point. It's honestly the best criticism of the team right now, I think. Just to play devil's advocate, because look, right now, if I'm standing on ground, it's a freaking mudslide, and it's coming out from under my feet, but they've looked better defensively in the games when Jokic gives a even remote. I don't want to make you write a report. Kel.
Don't make him write
when
a
Jokic
report.
cares a little bit more defensively, and there's a part of me that wonders if they can survive and get into the playoffs. Could it all look different from that standpoint? But I understand how hopeful that is. I understand that that's wishful, hopeful thinking, and it's hardly the way you want to be describing their path to success. So I think, Dev, that's the most well-articulated and weighty criticism of the Nuggets right now.
Yeah. Let's move on and talk about what, has been a big storyline over these last couple games. And we'll get to the starting lineup. I want to spend some time on that because Nuggets debuted a new starting lineup tonight. Aaron Gordon back in there, but we'll wait for that a second. Michael Porter tonight, 9 points, 3 of 8 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3. He's had 2 really bad games in this 3-game stretch. He played really bad against Minnesota. And he played bad against the Knicks tonight. And, this was a game against another good defense, a physical defense, a defense that can get up into you. And, he just looked out of it the whole game. Looked hesitant, just didn't look like he was really that engaged. Some of just the quintessential Michael Porter mess-ups where the ball just trickles off his hands or he goes up to catch it with one hand and it just bounces off his hand out of bounds. There were so many of those tonight. And, this parlays right off the trade deadline discussion. That is the big move out there. I would think that's available. What do you think of Porter these last 3 games? What's been your biggest observation?
This obviously doesn't help for the how does he play against good physical teams, It's another piece of evidence that goes in the file against him. It does. And that's been a common theme for most of his career. There are occasional exceptions, but to go back to back here with the Wolves and Knicks, we didn't see it. And so that part, I get the particular frustration. I really do. I will say typically it's hilarious with the All-Star break coming up. Every time people spend 2 straight weeks absolutely destroying Mike, he puts a stretch together. But I understand that for most people, that's the problem, that they want more consistency, especially in games like this. I do think Mike will probably have some better games at some point here. I do think Mike is a much better player than we've seen. But we're going on 2 or 3 weeks now where I don't think he's been very good. And and more to the point, what am I supposed to do and when out here? When it seemed like just a month ago he had a good grasp on it. So disappointing stretch from Porter and untimely to say the least with the trade deadline.
He's had some stinkers lately. You go back to that Boston game, 5 of 13. They lost by 12. He was a minus 16 in that game. 5 of 13 against Dallas. They did win that game, and he was in the positives. 2 of 4, he was absolutely invisible in that blowout loss to the Rockets. 4 of 13 against the Heat. Then 4 of 10 against Minnesota, and then tonight. Where are you guys at on Porter?
For me, when it comes to Porter, you talked about he's had a rough 2-week stretch.
Yeah.
Who's been getting ramped up and who's been playing a lot better in that time frame?
Jamal.
They again, I mean, this was like my takeaway is like not being able to be on the same page with like a Jokic, not being on the same page with Michael Porter. So now it's like be careful what you ask for, because we've been wanting Jamal to get ramped up and be in it, but it comes at the expense of others because they're not on the exact same page, and maybe even the style of play is clashing at times because he's not engaged the entire time. He's not bringing the things that keep him on the floor and makes him such a unique player. Michael Porter Jr. is not knocking down a three-pointer. He's not using his length for rebounds or anything, and he's damn sure not out there for defense. So it's like, what are they bringing? What is he bringing to the table right now? Spacing. It's not really spacing if you're not knocking down the shot. And then also when you think about the 8-man rotation that they've been going to, especially in these important games, one, the physicality is always too much for him. We talk about the physicality. What is playoff basketball?
Yep.
It's very physical.
It is.
The second thing is when it comes to Michael Porter Jr. in that group, he played 25 minutes today because of bad play. So like they're trying to find other minutes for him when he doesn't have it going on, and it's only going to get to his head. So he seems like the odd man out when we talk about like making a push. It seems like there's one guy that it leads to every single time.
Well, what's happened also recently with, like, what happened before Jamal started playing well, though? Russell Westbrook. It was the Westbrook-Jokic 2-man game, and then Jamal's come back into the mix now. And that has pushed MPJ even further down, the pecking order, and has narrowed his role even more. And, like, this isn't a criticism of Westbrook because Westbrook has been absolutely front and center of some of the Nuggets' best moments and most of their best moments this season. He's been incredible for most of this year. But Russell Westbrook being this good, I think, has made Michael Porter worse. I just think it has.
Yeah.
Because Porter is less effective when he has less shots and is less involved in the offense. He just is. And now he's the fourth option. He's the fourth option in the Nuggets starting lineup right now. And it is tough for him to be effective in that role because he's not a guy that is going to get a lot of 50-50 balls. He's not going to like make the extra effort plays. He's not going to do the stuff that Josh Hart does in a fourth best player role in the lineup. So he's not in a natural position right now. And it's because Russell Westbrook has been so good. Again, that's a great thing for the Nuggets. They would be toast this year if it wasn't for Westbrook. And now that Jamal Murray is finding himself again, Mike's out of place and he looks uncomfortable, and he's not in a spot that is going to maximize what he's good at right now.
It's true, but then you look at he looked like an OG Anunoby, who arguably plays the same role and position as Mike.
Yeah.
Like they're not looking for him; they're finding him when he's knocking down the shot. He's physical. He's like making himself part of the thing. Like MPJ, I don't get it, man. Like I just don't get it. He's so talented. Sometimes he just lights up the entire sky, and you're like, this is like the most talented basketball player. He's like made in a lab. Like this is what a basketball player should look like. But he's so easily like moved off his spot. His confidence, like it's so easy to rub him out of any of the strategy that they're trying to employ because you just have to be physical with him. He's not like losing his guy. Like when he comes off screens and loops up across the top, like he's always like shooting so fast that his defender doesn't catch up with him, and it's like he's not effective doing that. Like I don't know, man. Like Michael Porter Jr. has been incredible for the Denver Nuggets, and I'm definitely willing to afford him the same grace that I do Jamal Murray. But it's not looking good right now, man. And a lot of it is like, you have to look at the time of year. Teams that aren't like really locked in, like really fall out of sync going into the All-Star break every year. Like teams that are just like, that have sort of a 3-2-1 Cancun mindset really like drop off going into that. They just know a break is coming. And that doesn't necessarily mean that there's spells doom on the other side, but the Nuggets are in a weird place right now where they actually, it feels like they do have to make some like pretty big, like philosophical decisions about who they are. Because the defense right now, I would argue, is just mostly, it's just effort based like it always is. But like the effort is so low that it like hints to something else. Like, why are you guys this disengaged?
Yeah.
Like, is there something happening behind the scenes we need to know about?
Yeah,
Part of
I
it
don't
is
know.
part of it is Jokic, man. And
is,
it's
for
such
sure.
a big part of it, and he has been so remarkably good, nearly flawless offensively, that everyone knows. Everyone knows the last thing you want to do is get up here and put any blame on that guy.
Sure.
But part of the basketball equation is it's a layup line, man. Like, I know the point of attack defense isn't very good, but I think part of sometimes it doesn't look so good because there's no rim protector behind it. It's worth it. You'd rather have Jokic than a rim protector. I'm not saying the trade-off isn't worth it, but the nights that he's just completely doesn't play defense, this team has defensively, defensively, this team has no shot.
And like he doesn't
Let's
have
hit
to.
another break real quick. We'll continue this discussion in a second.
Fire it up,
sorry.
Cam, give me the.
Stay
Keep
tuned.
cutting you off tonight.
Oh, I could use one of these right now. It's Miller time.
I got one right
boy.
here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
When the Nuggets win, it's Miller time. When the Nuggets lose, it's Miller time.
It's double Miller time.
When the Nuggets are playing, it's Miller time. When it's 3:15 on a non-game
dude.
day and we're in Studio B.
Woo, Miller time. It sounds like
Miller
you're describing
time.
Miller time over there.
From holiday gatherings and office parties to fireside conversations and football Sunday,
Miller time.
winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Hey, that's you guys. Make these moments even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer. New Year's a perfect time for friends, family, and a great tasting light beer tastes like Miller time. And not everyone can drink like they're in college, like they're 20. You got the family over. You got throw some light beers in there. And when I say light beers, of course, I mean Miller Lights. The taste you can depend on. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite at the beer store. You know about Miller Lite. You know exactly.
I'm off to the beer
You know
store.
all about Miller Lite. Wherever you get beer, that's where Miller Lite is. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. And of course, our big takeaways today were presented by the homies at Red Hawk Roofing, who sometimes come through and even host watch parties for us here.
We had an offsite today with some ALLCITY people, and we had a guy do a presentation. Somebody who's an investor in our company. He name dropped Red Hawk Roofing in his presentation. He was like, "I love those guys."
That's crazy.
He was like, I definitely don't need any roof work, but like,
Yeah,
I feel like calling him anyway.
I know. He just wants to call and talk Nuggets with them.
Yeah.
They're Denver's best roofers. If you didn't know, they've joined the DNVR team. Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time. Colorado's best estimators and contractors. Huge DNVR supporters. Free, no obligation roof and property inspections. Free in-depth photo reports for all inspections. That really matters. You don't know how bad the damage is till you get up there. You don't want to send someone up there and then pay them if the damage isn't that bad. Luckily, you could just send Red Hawk Roofing. Supporting your local teams means also supporting local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921. Tell them DNVR sent you.
Also, Red Hawk Roofing, the fella's hosting a watch party Friday, I believe, for the 76ers game.
Oh God.
Yeah. That's next up, I think.
The
Philly.
roof is the floor.
Yeah. We are back here in the Toyota Losers Lounge from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores, presented by Bet365. Do we do okay on our bets tonight even? I'm guessing bad because Jokic put up a triple single.
You guessed correct.
Yeah. Or did he have more than 10 points? What did he finish with in this game? Oh, yeah, 17, 6, and 6. Decent game. Bad game from him. What were we talking about?
Oh man, just how bad the defense
Just
is.
the
I was
Nuggets.
saying like the thing that Jokic,
Oh my God.
Jokic is not even like you don't have to meet
Jokic.
everyone at the rim.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Victor Wembanyama in that way. You can attempt to take charges. You can get in front of guys. Like he just was like, he's like, He's just like not. He's dropping back. It's like, oh god, we know
the
how this is
one
going
where
to end.
Towns just like turned on the Jets and sprinted right by him for that dunk
God,
was
it's
the
so
worst.
painful.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Jokic is the best. These guys all suck, but now they're just going to get clipped over and over. We're getting clipped.
When it comes to like, Jokic's defense, the thing is he's always been this defender. Honestly, he really has been this bad on defense.
Except in the playoffs. Playoffs, he steps it up.
Well, the biggest thing was they made it. That was the biggest thing. That was the best thing that KCP did for the Nuggets. Like, that was his best thing ever. He hid so many of those deficiencies because he was such a good help side defender. Point of attack defense was so great. You're not seeing that right now. They're blowing by Christian Brown. They're blowing by Jamal, and they've always blown by him. But there was also someone else there to try to help or to try to slow down or do a little. So the point of attack defense is bad. He's not a great rim defender. He really never has been. And then now they don't have that, so they're looking for someone to like step in to help him because he's the best offensive player in the world. He's not the best defender. So what do? You put somebody that can help him alongside him. Someone else has to step up, and I think that's like the push of like trying to play a Peyton Watson a lot more, trying to make sure that AG still stays healthy, and he becomes better defensively because that's who also was like a big push. You think about those other. It was Paul Millsap. It was AG playing a little bit better. They had KCP that they could depend on. Bruce Brown was a good defender. There was other defenders on the team. They don't have that right now, so you're now starting to like see a bit more of like, okay, this is a little bit of smoke and mirrors. On top of that.
Yeah. I was just thinking back to one of the worst Nuggets defensive moments of the night, and was when I don't know if Porter turned it over, but it was like an out of bounds
Sounds
call. Right. Knicks ball, dead ball situation, and then just the Nuggets get beat in transition off a dead ball for like a wide open Knicks layup.
Yeah.
I have that moment sticking out in my head.
Yeah, don't worry. It started with Mike not being able to hold on to a ball.
I think
yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
he had a lot of
the
those.
all the super fun stuff reared its head tonight for sure.
Yeah. Well, Dev kind of hit on it. AG, playing defense next to Jokic. The Nuggets changed up their starting lineup tonight, and we kind of thought this might be coming, especially after, some of these recent comments from Aaron Gordon about how he's good to go. He's just, it's up to the coaching staff for minutes and whatnot. So he was kind of hinting that he wanted more playing time. Maybe he wants to come back into the starting lineup, and we'll see if it's permanent. Maybe it switches game to game, which I actually think it should, but we'll see if it's permanent. AG starts at the 4 tonight. Christian Brown goes to the bench. Russell Westbrook sticks in the starting lineup. What do we think of it? Was it the right call? Were you surprised? What did we think of moving Christian Brown to the bench in this new starting lineup?
I wasn't surprised. I think it's the right call. Welcome to pro sports where fairness really has nothing to do with it. Christian Brown, career high last time out, right? Career high.
Yeah.
You're on the bench tonight. And, the box score doesn't look that bad until you get to plus minus. So, his minutes were, part of it was he was out there right as things tanked, but when Jokic went out. But I think it's ultimately the right move. I think Russ in the starting lineup has just led to too many good things to just give up on it. And I actually thought Aaron Gordon looked pretty good tonight, all things considered. But I really think you'll feel the weight of Aaron Gordon back in the starting lineup if and when the defense comes back around as he gets healthy. Because that's just part of the defensive equation that we haven't talked about this year is that Aaron Gordon basically has barely factored into the season. And, he's not Giannis or Anthony Davis, but he's supposed to help. And, right now, as he works his way back from injury, his defense has been iffy. So he was good tonight in the starting lineup generally. I think sticking with this starting lineup is the right call. Hopefully, as Aaron gets more and more comfortable, you start to feel the defense as well.
Yeah. I was not surprised it happened, and I was not surprised it was Christian Brown who went to the bench. And look, it sucks for CB I'm not sure if he cares or not, but I'm sure he cares a little bit. You know, CB's playing the best ball of his career, 20 points a game, it seems like, regularly now. Playing so well off Jokic, and just kind of sucks he's the odd man out, but it's the only move that made sense to me because you just need Russell Westbrook to play with Nikola Jokic. And yeah, Jamal Murray played well tonight, but in my opinion, and just with how the season has gone, you need another ball handler out there. Like, you just need Westbrook to help Murray out. Those two playing together has helped out Jamal so far. So it sucks for CB, but it's kind of the natural move, it felt like, for the Nuggets at this point in the year. And look, I actually hope that it's a revolving starting lineup. I hope there are games when AG does come off the bench, actually. You know, maybe Russ comes off the... I hope they do switch the starting lineup. I'm not banking on that because Michael Malone's never done that, but I do think the roster, it does make some sense to do it that way, but I felt like this was the natural move, and I was okay with it, although it does suck, and I don't... Of course, I don't love the idea of Christian Brown coming off the bench. He's a starter. He's a starter.
And he said he's played well.
Yeah, he's played great. I mean, defensively, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's been good.
Yeah,
he's been good.
He's been good.
Great. He's been great.
What do you guys think?
I'm very conflicted with the decision to bench Christian Brown. Just have him come off the bench in this one, because I mean I do understand the Russell Westbrook portion of, if you want Jamal Murray to not have to go through, you know, the ball handling and getting pressured hot. We're not talking about him being pressured the exact same ways that we were when he was in the funk, because there's another guy that can bring the ball, you know, up the court or keep the ball in his hands. So I understand that portion of it. But if you want to get to your best offensive and defensive rotation, a rotation that is your actual core, it does not have Russell Westbrook in it. And I am in no ways blaming Russell Westbrook. He brings effort. He plays hard. He's, you know, a vet in this league, but he's a bench player. He should be on the bench. And also, the part that I get the most conflicted with when it comes to Russell Westbrook is him being on the Nuggets. They have altered every single thing to appease him, and he's kind of a rental. He's kind of a 1 year. Like, he has a player option, but if somebody says we want to pay him more, he's gone. Then you have to go back to trying to figure it out, and they've changed the entire way and complexity of the team. That now, you know, there's other issues that can, you know, rear itself like later. I'm just not big on that, and I've been wanting them to go to the regular starting lineup because that's what it should be, and have Russell Westbrook be the one that adapts or tries to figure things out where it's not just him with Jokic. Even if you look at this game, this is not to only blame him, but Jokic picks up 2 quick fouls because of, like, the point of attack defense. They just let him go at Jokic. He feels that he can take a quick foul because he's used to it. He doesn't have to get more fouls. Then he gets it early, and now you're trying to play catch up. So, like, I think the Russell Westbrook component has made everything shift to where now I don't know what the normalcy looks like. Yeah. So that's where I am with the Russell Westbrook experiment.
You're right that they have centered everything way more around Russ than any of us expected. Mm-hmm. And maybe he is gone next year, but isn't everything about this year, though?
Yes.
And haven't they done this with Russ because they've had to? Like, they've kind of had no other choice.
My feeling is that they had to rely on Russ early because Jamal was out.
Wasn't playing well. What happened. Exactly.
And it was a great revelation that Russ was playing well above expectation and actually was a beautiful addition to this team. I'm not at all surprised that they changed the starting lineup. I've been saying that they should do this because I want them to figure this out before the year is through.
Yeah,
and we didn't get even to a chance to evaluate it tonight.
Like,
Jokic was
went
out.
Back to CB in the starting lineup in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Christian Brown was back in like the first 2 to 3 minutes of this goddamn game. This godforsaken, terrible, wet, limp game, dude. And then, so we didn't get to evaluate it. And then Jokic was like not engaged the rest of the time. So I don't even know what to make of it. Like, there's nothing worse than having a game like this where you can be like, we didn't even learn anything. We got nothing out of this.
Has that lineup started together? No chance. Have they played together
I don't even know, man. I am with Dev in this one aspect. I think if this team is going to become the best version of the Nuggets this season, if they're the A-plus version of this team at any point this year, I think it's probably with Christian Brown in the starting lineup and Russell Westbrook coming off the bench. Like, I think for the Nuggets to fulfill their potential this year, for them to be the best team they can be, like to win a Game 7 in the playoffs, I think it's probably with that lineup starting. But right now, with how important Russell Westbrook is to this team, he's got to be in the starting lineup, in my opinion.
With Westbrook, look, I have always been a Westbrook
I know.
guy.
That's the wildest part about this is the Dev will defend to the end. Derrick Rose, OJ Mayo, Russell Westbrook, any like overly
Probably like
athletic.
Michael Beasley.
Yeah, dude, any overly athletic point guard. Like Dev's like, that's the guy. What are you
Seven
talking
Woods.
about?
I like the older
Shaquille
guys.
Carr.
I mean, I really do love Russell Westbrook, but I know that there's a limit to Russell Westbrook, and it should not be being one of your team's best 3 players. It's just not. That's not who he is. That's not what he should be. Even if you just really pay attention to his game now, like they play him too long, and I've been on that. I've been saying that, and I think that it gets hidden with like these big numbers. Like he had 14 rebounds in this game, and he has like good assist nights and things, but also he turns the ball over a bunch because he is just forcing the ball the entire time. If we know he's forcing it the entire time, professional athletes and game plans know that as well. He's shooting the ball like, better, but also like the spacing is there. And every time that Russell is taking a shot, that means that Michael Porter Jr. is not taking a shot. That means that Jokic is not taking shots. Or Jamal. So like, I really do think that there are limits to Russell Westbrook that the Nuggets are like just trying to figure out at the same time. But truly, the turnovers are not good. They're not.
That's the biggest concern I have with Russ, who has been really good, by the way. And this is one game, and Jokic played 2 minutes before the foul trouble. Give this look some time, man. And I'm not blaming Russ, just talking about the dynamics of the team. And the turnovers are just the thing to keep an eye on, because it does feel like that's the thing that. All right, maybe they can defense TBD how much of it is controllable for them. Turnovers, when they don't turn it over, they look so good. And when they turn it over, man, they just make it so hard on themselves. And tonight it was the points off turnovers as well. And Russ will turn it over. But he's doing a lot too, man. Rebounding, playing defense, typically playmaking. I'm in favor of Russ sticking in the starting lineup for a bit, just giving this group another look. But obviously the turnovers from everyone for this team have been an issue all year long. But Russ is a guy who will turn it over.
But they do have to just like test out this theorem.
Yeah, I think so.
And
too.
they have enough time to like see if it works. But they, again, like tonight was a complete and total waste of time. No lessons learned. All sadness. I want to die.
Yeah.
AG did go for 15 and 6 in his 30
AG was
minutes.
great. AG was great. This is my last piece on.
Oh boy, here it
Russell
comes.
Westbrook. No,
did you guys know? Is Dev racist?
yeah,
It's a question.
yeah, for sure. We haven't gotten over to the guys yet. When it comes to like these players, because I know Vogt even called us out last game, and the chat like tries to call. We're not going to talk about flaws in the middle of win streaks or in the middle of them playing well. Like you can't talk about like, oh, but they gave up 130, because then you're putting a damper on it. These are the times that you get to like air out how you truly feel, like right after, another loss or in the middle of like things that can be better. So, because I wanted to, Russell Westbrook has been this player for his whole career. Yeah. It's not like we're just blaming him right now. Jokic's defense has been rocky for his entire career. You're not going to talk about that in the middle of a 40-point triple-double that was damn near perfect when he's dominating and things like. So like there are times to feel reactionary, and after a 3-game losing streak, I think that you should be able to say what you feel and what you're seeing.
Yeah. You have to. You got to cleanse the soul. You can't keep feelings like this inside of you. It causes cancer.
All that's to say, if Jokic doesn't pick up those 2 quick fouls, the Nuggets probably win tonight.
Easy dub, going away.
And could you imagine what we'd be saying right now? Fire it up, Kale!
We thought we were gonna fire. We
didn't even hit on Jamal Murray, really, who scored 33 points in this game, had a Murray flurry, had a huge second half, 4 or 5 from 3. 13 of 25 from the field. Oh, sorry, 3 of 7 from 3, 4 of 5 from the line. I mean, he was great tonight, right? He kind of took over, but took some questionable shots, but I mean, still shot 13 of 25, carried the Nuggets offensively for most of this game.
Yeah, he was great in the context of this game where he
Right.
actually was the best scoring Nuggets player, but also cost them the game in many ways. Like, it's just like this game was just so tragic and so many,
bizarre. It was a bizarro game.
It's like that's the craziest part is I'm like, where do I set my anger level? Because like, don't get me wrong, I'm furious.
Yeah.
Watching this game, like throughout portions of this game, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I need to go back to school, man. Like, maybe Red Hawk Roofing is hiring. I can't deal with this. Although they would
Become a
chat my
roofer?
ear off about the stupid
You just be
goddamn
doing
Nuggets.
a podcast while on a roof.
Yeah, that's basically what I do. A podcast all the time. But it's, man, Jamal played great. Like, Jamal played great, but he didn't play in a way that like elevated the team. But like in a vacuum, like Jamal played hard. Jamal played great
did play hard.
defense.
I thought
Jamal
the
did a
Nuggets-
lot of good things. Like,
I mean,
it's,
aside from the defense, some guys played hard tonight.
yeah, I mean, but he, I mean, if you want to, I mean, the people in the chat have no problem. People are saying it's Murray's fault that we lost. I mean,
The
it's still
dynamic that I think that is misunderstanding is the ball was in Jamal's hands a lot tonight, even down the stretch. But part of it was,
What else were they going to do?
I mean, look, man, the best player I've ever seen outside of LeBron James. Jokic didn't really show up to play tonight. So I think part of it was Murray was like, yeah, I guess I will take this shot. Strong agree that it's not the healthiest version of Denver's offense. But
Absolutely.
But I
Yeah,
also
nobody's
think,
arguing
but
for
I,
that.
necessity
I actually
tonight.
think that followed kind of Jokic maybe not being super aggressive in the right moments. And like, no, I don't. I do want more Jokic and less Jamal down the stretch of any game. But I'm not hanging this game on Jamal, man. 35, 5, and 6.
sure.
I thought he kept him in it.
Yeah, I think Jamal has a very difficult job every single night. Like he's held to like such high expectations because he has to wait. He has the best player. He has one of the best players that's ever touched a basketball on his team that he needs to for sure give the ball and then figure out, is this his night or not? And then there are times where it's like, okay, well, I need to try to take over. And then there's the instincts of, I want to be a scorer. And a lot of times it is like over dribbling. A lot of times it is taking, too many shots. But there's also I will be the guy that can take that. And there's not a lot of, players that will do that. It'll be a lot of Russell Westbrook type of, you're open, why don't you shoot it? But you're just force feeding it to him because it's the right play, quote unquote. And I think that there's a balance there. This was a game that I can't just blame it on Jamal, that he took 25 shots in the game because a lot of it was without Jokic. A lot of other players are not shooting the ball as much. So it's like, okay, I have to try to lead, the charge or try to score in different ways. The positive in this game is, I mean, he is in a scoring like flurry right now. He really does have it going offensively where he is, going with the best of them. Him and Jalen Brunson, this is a mano-a-mano type of, best guards in the league. And he went at him. He outscored him in a lot of ways. So, I mean, I love that. The shot is starting to fall. He's, moving well and things like that. So, I mean, this is not a game that I could just straight up blame on Jamal.
Yeah.
So I like that he's getting in the rhythm. Now I want it to be a team-oriented, way. Hey, you have your offense. Now let's get a mixture. Like, let's both get going. In this game, even, Jamal had it going on, and then he fouls.
Yep.
He was really having a Jamal flurry. Everything was like going down, and they
Game
got
kinda
back.
turned
there.
They got
Flurry.
back in the
Yeah.
game.
Game kind of
Murray
turned
flurry.
there.
It was and then as soon as he fouled, they had to get him out of there. And it's
And then
like,
Brunson
God
flurries.
damn it,
Yeah,
now it's the
exactly
other
what
way.
happened. Yeah,
So
they-
you got to make better decisions too.
Sidebar.
Jamal had him
Jalen
up.
Brunson, my God, dude. I hate watching that
Yeah,
guy
he sucks.
play.
He sucks rocks.
My-
Yeah, Jamal had him up 7
God.
points, then committed that take foul, and then he goes out of the game.
Yeah.
It goes down to 4. But he was the reason that they were in the lead. And then nobody else could do anything.
Anybody else we want to talk about? I mean, Julian Strawther was my other note tonight. P. Watt, I've got no notes on. Didn't even really notice him out there. Only played 19 minutes in this game. He still can't really get his playing time up, even though the Nuggets defense sucks. But Strawther, 1 of 4 from 3 in this game, and he shot 3 of 15 from 3 his last 4 games.
just can't buy a shot right now. I don't want to talk about Strawther, but
I don't really either.
yeah, Christian Brown off the bench, like with the second unit.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that, right? Like,
Not really.
Like, really?
No. We talked about the starting lineup, but not really him.
he got a little bit of the Zeke Naji. Like, as soon as he was in the game, like, because it came right after the fouls for Jokic.
Yeah, they went on that huge
They
run.
went on the wildest run,
Yeah.
and then you look at the box, like he was a minus 18.
Welcome back to the second unit, bro.
Like, damn it.
I know,
This is
dude.
what it looks like in here. This
I
is
know.
like the graveyard. Like, there was nothing I could have done about that. Like, he's so used to playing with the Jokic that it's like they went on a run, and there was nothing that he could do to stop the bleeding. It truly wasn't all on him. But, like, that is what it looks like in that bench unit. So it's like, you kind of have to expect that. Like, there's going to be, adapting. You're playing without Jokic at an awkward time. Like, this really was a bizarre game, and I feel like Christian Brown took the brunt of that.
The brunt.
Dude, it's like he won the
brunt.
lottery.
The brunt of it.
It's like he won the lottery, moved into a mansion, and then one day the IRS came and just took everything. They're like, no, you're back to the one bedroom apartment.
I mean, if he's disappointed by that, like, watch the tarot card show, dude. It was very clearly lined up that you were going to be taking a step back. That means
Yeah.
moving out of the
It's
starting
like, shit, I'm
line.
going to the bench. Oh, the tarot card.
Yeah, dude.
Duh.
Like, you're like, what am I doing? And like, and meanwhile, Zeke is on the bench just smiling, like, I can't wait for my moment for victory, dude.
Oh, man. All right. Should we hit some super chats and get out
Are there lots of them tonight?
Super chats.
There are? What? Thank
All
you.
right, let's play the how many positive super chats do we get?
Yeah,
I'll do
Eric,
the
you're my
count.
counter.
Let's do an over-under. Let's do an over-under.
Oh, so how many? 26. Okay, I'm gonna say we are shooting Julian Strawther from 3 level tonight. I'm gonna say 10% are positive.
here? So how many is that?
That's 3. So we want
2.6.
Three. All right.
3?
Cole Bressler.
Okay.
Once or twice a year, Jokic decides to see what it would feel like to be bad at basketball. Defense was way better. Crash out postponed temporarily.
Not positive, but
Yeah.
like at least well measured. But sorry,
Not
it doesn't make the
positive,
cut.
but
That's
yeah.
still 0.
Big Honey, Jokic sold the game and chat will somehow still blame Jamal. I hate it here.
Okay, that's 2 down, 0 positive. Okay,
Elijah, Nuggets 10 of 28 from 3. NYC 14 of 34 and a 10-point loss. We need better looks and more attempts from 3. I love MPJ, but 1 of 5. 3 points from him is tough to handle. It is, man.
not
It
that
is.
negative, but also not positive. Sorry.
Amin, for the first time in my life, I'm really pissed at Jokic.
Oh,
You
boy.
pick up 2 stupid fouls. The team fights as hard as they have all year to stay in the game, and then he comes to chuck threes. This was a winnable game.
You're so right. I mean, I agree
the
with
first
you.
time you're pissed at Jokic in your life is,
Dude, it's so weird.
it's a weird
It's like
feeling.
it's like when the first time you realize your
That's
parents.
what it means going through, right?
It's the first time when you realize your parents don't know what they're talking about all the time. As a kid, you're
If it
like,
helps-
oh, they know everything.
If it helps, it doesn't last with Jokic. It usually is over
right,
pretty quick.
That will last with your parents.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
It
And we're
doesn't
still,
last with
No,
Jokic.
that's
we're
right.
still at a solid
That's
zero
the distinction.
zero positive comment.
Run
Okay,
away.
I don't think this one's gonna fix
Cedric exquisite. No win, no dev. We got to beat Philly for redemption.
I mean,
I feel like he'd be like talking in his sleep or something. Because like,
Yeah.
that's like,
yeah.
we didn't say that you shouldn't beat Philly. Like, I think we all believe that, right?
No, it's
Why does he
a,
name you two?
no, it's a super strange dynamic that we're literally trapped in.
Traquan Morans. It's time for a trade. We got a team who can't hoop.
Okay, that's another not
definitely
positive.
negative, and maybe it is.
Oh,
time
this
for
one
a
has
trade.
to be positive. It says trading in the name.
True trading. Blow it up.
Oh God!
Get defenders that can pass to Jokic.
Oh God! All right,
Negative.
0.
still at 0. Okay.
Peter
close.
Duck, Brown off the bench is not it. If MPJ is slumping, it's treacherous. Yoke worries me. New York plays hard, but it feels like someone always goes off versus the Nugs.
This was like one of the most negative ones I've heard. That was a very negative one.
Amin, maybe Jokic was giving a Mike tribute, chucking threes before he gets traded.
Oh,
next year.
Very negative.
Actually, it
Amin.
got worse. That got
Very
worse.
negative.
That got worse.
This, I think, is Josh
In
Barnett.
all, hold on, not reading a single word. This is in all caps.
Wait,
I'll be very
what?
surprised if this goes into the
Well,
positive column.
I'm not. It might be Josh Barnett from Down Under. I can't tell because this is a profile picture that kind of looks more like Josh. It's just really just a white fella. All right, here we go. No, it's hashtag shut up and take my money. No Yoke, no Maul, no E, no Moach, no Josh from nowhere. It's Josh. No Win, no Eric, no wait. I think it's Cedric. No Dev, no Kale. Yes, Vogt. No Vekislav, no MPJ. White Cat, give Jokic PTSD.
Negative
Why do you give us
and
PTSD?
freaking wild.
What an adventure.
We're about to get positive.
Jay, please.
Jay, Conspiracy Corner. Joker genuinely believes he cannot win MVP and a championship in the same year and is choosing the ring.
Oh, positive?
What?
Hold on. No, keep going.
If not, RIP vibes.
No, but this is Jay's saying.
I think we got to count that as positive.
Ding. Yes,
we're
it
counting
means
it as
that,
positive.
Yeah, dude.
Yes. It was a conspiracy.
That's a, Dev, we have so
It's
little.
a positive conspiracy.
We have
Conspiracies
so
can be
little.
positive.
Yeah,
Usually
dude.
they're negative, but
Those UFOs, they're picking people up to kill them. They're healing them.
Dude, in the end, the drones were authorized by the FAA, dude. What's the problem? All right, keep going. We got one.
Vladislav. Jokic has been quiet quitting for 3 games now. This has nothing to do with any team other than the Nuggets themselves. Personal or team vibes issue.
Yeah, it is rough.
The thing about that is prior to 3 games, the vibes were awesome. So why quit now?
They were,
Yeah.
dude, if I could go back and talk to myself 3 days ago, first off, I would just be like,
Chill out.
Take
was
the
the first
I'd
thing
be
I would
like,
say to
it
myself.
doesn't get better,
Yeah,
dude.
chill
It just doesn't get better.
You're
End
wrong,
it now.
actually. Yeah, you're
just
wrong.
end it.
Andrew Matsueda. This is a roster construction problem. We were great when we had solid defenders to protect our core, but Booth put together a team of little boys.
Whoa.
This is a Calvin Booth is an idiot night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we were blowing out the genius.
Get out the ometer.
the geniusometer.
We live in a cycle dictated by other men,
Yeah.
by the play of other
All right,
people.
positive. It's coming.
Okay.
I
You
believe
know, a trade isn't needed. Trying on defense is needed.
Positive?
What are we?
No.
Judges? No.
No.
it. No, that's down the
Neutral,
middle.
right down the middle. Sasha N. We need Time Lord, Sharge and Zeke, and a pick swap. Time Lord, I should say.
He hasn't played this year, right?
He's played in 17 games. I did a little write-up on our trade
I am
tracker on him
quite
today.
convinced that the only-
DNVR.com.
I'm quite convinced that the only reason people bring his name up ever is because
His nickname.
his nickname is Time Lord, and it's so fun to say.
And he
we
played
need
on the
Time Lord.
Celtics.
We need
Yeah.
Time Lord.
Druid trading. Malone fouled out Jokic. Self-sabotage. He did leave him out for a while.
I don't
The
know.
only thing is the Nuggets did better when he was off.
Yeah, it's tough.
But yes, I mean, yeah. Sava Veselinovic. Did you notice at the start no one was looking for Jokic? No passes. Offense didn't
When
flow
he was on
through
the
him.
bench?
And then those 2 fouls, he wasn't engaged at all. Something is up for sure. Hello from Serbia.
I counted as positive. Ding.
Hi, guys.
Ding.
I'll have
That
to
was
go
not
back and
positive.
see. I didn't notice that. I mean, the fouls happen so quickly.
So quick, man.
But maybe I'll have to go back and check.
Josh Barnett from Down Under. Are we wasting Jamal's prime? Get him in some help.
Positive. Positive.
Ding, ding.
Is that 2?
That's 3. If we count the one that was.
Hold on. That was positive?
Yeah, that wasn't actually positive.
Why
Are we wasting
Positive?
his time?
How about some straight up propaganda from my guy Michael Porter Truther?
This is you.
Jokic without Jamal, plus 18.7. Jokic without IG, plus 14.1. Jokic without CB, plus 12.8. Jokic without MPJ, plus 4.0. Mike without Jokic and Julian, plus 6.1.
What?
I gotta be honest, I have no idea.
Some
what-
of these are
what
probably
this is
real
here.
This is a super dope hip hop.
Some of those are really small
Burner.
sample size. The point is that when Jokic is on the floor without Mike, it's a little harder for him than with the other starters, according to these stats.
Yeah, so he's saying make sure that Mike and
So
Jokic are
Mike
together.
with no Jokic.
No, it's
Mike and Jokic need to be together. That's
yeah,
that's
he's talking about Jokic without Mike
We won a
compared to
championship off
Jokic
that.
without Jamal, Jokic without AG, Jokic without CB. The numbers are kind to Mike in that particular category. History Channel 5280. Jokic was grabbing his elbow a lot first quarter.
Okay, so I saw that.
too.
I thought he was telling the ref like he was
got
grabbing
out.
me.
Yeah, well, he tried to go up, and then that's when he was actually saying that.
Right.
Because he
so-
tried to go up for a shot, and he
Yeah.
grabbed his arm. And I don't know if he was saying I got fouled or
Right.
if it, actually
it was
hurt
hard to tell. I couldn't tell if he was grabbing his arm because it hurt or he was
Yes.
showing the ref. I'm
It
not
looked like
sure.
a grab, but he didn't do it again for the rest of the that I saw. Hard to say. Here's some more for Michael Porter Truther.
Is this like your intern or
No,
something?
I've been sitting here, man. You guys have
Yeah,
been
that's
watching
why
me
I
the
said
whole
an
time.
intern.
You have a mobile device.
Yeah, imagine if I had an intern and this is what I use it for. AG ISO D 1.04 point PPP 25th percentile, MPJ ISO D 0.68 PPP 81st percentile. I'm gonna be honest, these are probably some pretty noisy numbers, brother. AG pick and roll D 1.0 points per possession 15th percentile, MPJ pick and roll 0.82 points per possession 75th percentile. What is this? Math class?
Hold on,
I-
did they at me?
Wait, they did?
What? You got the wrong Adam.
Macahroo, who do you guys think would be the best person to get us truly back for MPJ? I always wanted Lowry Markkanen or Miles Turner, then move AG at the 3.
All right, let's play this game. We'll play fake trade Monopoly right now.
Oh God!
Right now,
I get the Lowry love.
Let's play it right now. I don't think Markkanen's even trade eligible this year. If you could trade MPJ for one guy, who would it be, Dev? One of the guys that you know is out there.
I don't know.
I mean, come on, Levine, Butler, like
It's not Butler.
really,
It's not
Oh
Butler.
yeah, no way. No, thank
really.
you.
For me, it'd be Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, it's not Butler for me.
That's who it would be for me.
For me, it'd be the package of.
And I'm not saying
Yeah,
I
it would be a
want to do
package.
it.
It would
I'm
be a
saying
package.
if I had to.
I like the Cam Johnson package.
Mail form corner. I would take. I would go Bogdanovich and Hunter if we could.
Okay. I'm not gonna
Lowry
ask
can't
about it.
be traded, not even in December, or not even in the summer, and he becomes eligible in October of next year.
So that's next year.
I'm going to hold the line for now. Shocker. 2 seasons in a row, Nuggets are really bad at trying to win and conserve energy at the same time. Trying to do that again after 2 losses is frustrated. I do think that's actually at times part of what's happened this year. There was so much last year about don't grind yourselves into sand, into dust, trying to get there. But they're not quite good enough this year to kind of do both. Slobodan Pekovic, this loss is on Joker.
That's a great name.
It's an unbelievable
I wish my
name.
name was Slobodan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
His mind
And
was,
Pekovic.
I know, it really rolls off the tongue. His mind was still on the bus. Do you all make a sour face every time MPJ starts dribbling? I love him, but this is starting to hurt. Yes, actually,
tonight.
even I do. All the Nuggets are bad. Love you, Denver.
Also,
XX.
I've never seen
Slobodan?
clearly a Serbian go like say that was on your.
I wish my name was
They usually
Slobodan.
they usually all be on.
Is
there.
it Slobodan Milosevic? Is that the?
It's Slobodan Pekovic.
I know, but wasn't that the leader of whatever Serbia when they were getting bombed by the United States?
Okay,
I'm
this
not
next
sure.
one is probably one we don't want to read. 55555-ish. It feels weird saying that I'm not too mad at this loss because if Jokic has a bad game, we don't win 90% of the time anyways. Let's bounce back versus Philly. That one was just chilling on the screen. DJ Seahawk, nuts.
Write a report, Kale.
Listen,
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Preemptively write a
They
report.
thought we were reading that.
yeah.
Oh
Not
my
catching me sleeping.
Whoops.
You will eventually, though, so
Oh
please
my
don't keep
God.
trying. DJ Seahawk, we beating Philly. LFG, Maul saved us this game. Well, all the Nuggets are good. The difference, Joker had like 3 rebounds against the Wolves, too.
His rebounding has been weird, man. Weird.
Wilson the GOAT. All the Nuggets are good. Hashtag
There's a
positivity.
positive
Ah,
one.
well,
We
this
hit the over.
this was in. I mean, this
That
was
wasn't
dir-
part of the 26.
Yeah, that was. This came in. This is
It was unfortunately 1.5.
We needed overtime.
so in the 26. What do we?
So
end up
we
with,
went
2?
under. We went under.
I guessed 3, and it was 2.
Yeah,
And one of them, it was literally 1. Never change, chat. Never change. By the way, if you think that I would be watching this game, paying money to say something positive after this absolute dumpster
Oh, yeah.
fire,
I'm glad
there's no
nobody
chance.
gave us 3 positive ones.
Ugh.
Hey, babe, where's the best place to charge your phone in New York City? This is Chunk Dickwell's burner,
Yeah.
by the way. Battery Park. And to end on a better note, why did the Proton bring a friend to the party? Because he wanted to stay positive.
I think I'm going to count
How
that as
does
negative.
Chuck Dickwellsburger have the perfect
I don't
dad
know.
joke
I don't know.
for the theme of the super chat?
I think that Chuck Dickwell's-Burner is the perfect dad.
I don't know. He gave us $20 to say it, though.
He's
which
pretty
is
good.
awesome.
he just
Also-
has he just like, oh, we need a positive joke. All right, let me see what we got.
I hate dad jokes because I've heard them all. He
You-
brings
you
new
haven't heard
ones.
that
He
one.
brings new
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, dude.
They're different.
It makes me want to reunite with my father, you know? You can tell some jokes.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite genre of Eric joke, dude. It gets me every time. Ulysses Ventura. There's no way Zeke and Sharich are on the roster after deadline. MPJ, Najee, first for Lowry and Kessler.
Yeah, they're gonna give up Larry. And
Yeah,
Kessler.
why? And Lowry can't be traded like we just found out till October.
Dude, call the Warriors. Get Steph. Get him out of there. I'm serious. Like
They're trying to get Jimmy Butler.
They need a dose of reality more than any team in the league. They are going nowhere. They're going to bring in a guy like Jimmy Butler. That's not going to, whatever. Get Steph.
And lastly, oh, no, 2 more. A seal. Vibes are bad now, but they'll recover. Always do. This was a Yoke protest game. 12-game win streak to beat the 40-20 rule begins now.
Positive
Dude,
Well,
that was
game
but
was-
again. That was after we
I
started talking.
know. That's
You
why
can't
I
ca-
know. I
Josh
just said
Barnett
that from down under.
we enjoy positive. I'm not gonna lie. I like.
We're
when I see
turning on
positive.
ourselves. We're melting down as a people.
The last word of the night. Oh, we gave it to an Australian. Josh Barnett from Down Under. Positive. Australia have 330 runs in Sri Lanka. We don't know what that means,
That's
Josh.
a cricket term.
Get effed,
Get
Sri Lanka.
educated. Second most popular sport in the world. Cricket.
Is that good? Is that a lot of runs? Sounds like a lot.
Does sound like a lot. To
Sri
be fair.
Lanka, a cricket powerhouse.
Absolute
by the way.
powerhouse.
Yeah.
Absolute powerhouse.
All right, guys. Thanks for the super chats in the Toyota chat. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Losers Lounge, live from the Toyota Lounge.
Guys, we're so sorry. Listen, we want to be better too. We know what you're seeing out there. We hear the comments. We know we're not at our best. But listen, we can't be at our best unless the Nuggets are at their best. It's
pretty directly
wholly
correlated.
Dependent on the Denver Nuggets. And if you want us to change the vibes, we can't do anything.
Also, if you guys will start being more positive,
Yeah, be
then there's
nice to
positive.
us.
There's positive vibes. We
Dude.
need the vibes back.
Dev said
vibes
that
are-
after delivering his most negative show of the year.
That was not my most.
You were
negative
cooking,
show.
though.
Vibes are a two-way street. All right?
You know what's great?
What?
We're back tomorrow.
Oh, we're back!
We're back tomorrow. Talk to you guys then.
All right, cool, fine.
We all silly like the mayor.